So here we go. Now that we got you in here, Suna, what are your thoughts on modding? Now we've talked about a lot of it. Now a lot of things that we want to see. We've seen things that the community already has out, like swapping weapons with just random objects in the game, like random assets. Like you can
Yeah.
literally use like a freaking rod
Yeah,
as a
I
weapon.
seen one where they use like a traffic cone or
Yeah.
something. It was just like, what? You're just doing it for the sake of it now. But
Yeah.
it is
So
good to know that things can be swapped quite easily, just like that. I guess it's just a data transfer from one thing to another, nice and easy. Which would make me think that character swaps are going to be the same, give or take animations and how many bones they have and whatnot.
yeah.
But I think things on the easier side that are definitely going to start coming out, because I've been in that server for what, 2 days now or something, and I've seen the progress is insane.
Yeah.
Um, I've seen Slayer Santiago in there, and he's been talking a lot about like the music files, and they found where all the music files and the voice files are located.
Oh.
And with modern games, at least from what I can tell, it's as simple as just swapping the file as long as it's renamed the same and it's the same file type. It should just straight replace.
Wow.
So, given the information I've seen so far, it might technically be possible for us to do Echo S for the remake.
Oh,
Oh wow.
that's
Maybe.
amazing. We were just kind of talking about it earlier. Like we get Crane in here to do the voice for we were talking about a mod for Clueless Cloud, so where he could just be like huh, like what, like the entire time.
Every voice line is
Dude,
just
that's
replaced with
yeah,
what?
what? That's really
What?
cool. That does mean I can replace every line in the game with bullshit from Jack. And just Jack from Origin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it can be done. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I haven't actually
Right.
looked into it or done anything myself, but it seems like it'd be interesting. And something that I did find out quite a while back, which I was very, very interested in, is that a lot of games they don't. They're like they're created with the Japanese voice actors. They animate the lip flaps to match the Japanese voice actors, and then
Mhm.
when they port it, it just doesn't match, and they don't care because it's a video game.
Hmm.
But I think FF7 was the first, the remake was the first ever game that had lip flaps coded into the engine. So it just listens to the audio and it
Oh.
does its best guess to match the lip flaps with it. So whenever you play the game in any language, it auto
Yeah.
lip flaps. So technically, if you were to replace every line in the game with Tidus's laugh,
You just be
they
I
clap.
was thinking that too.
they would do it. I
That's
think they
awesome.
would do it, yeah.
Oh my god, that is so
And
cool.
even the editing is done in engine. Like
Mhm.
I've heard all the ripped lines, and they're just clean. Like they sound just like the normal voice actors. We've seen a lot of them because they stream.
Yeah.
We know what they
Mhm.
normally sound like, and the files aren't edited at all. The game does that. And
Hmm.
being an Echo S, like working on Echo S, I understand the hardships of editing and the fact they found a way to just skip that step
Yeah.
is
That's beautiful.
incredible.
Yeah, that is awesome. So thank you for that because that's really cool to know. I hope that it is possible and that easy to do. Now if this like, are you guys is Tsunamods like? Can I know you have so much on your plate? Are you thinking about jumping into remake
I'm
mods?
I'm definitely gonna take a look at the
Yeah.
very least. Like I can't promise I'll achieve anything, but I'm gonna buy the game. I'm gonna look into it because I mean, even for what I do, if I don't put anything new into the remake, I'm gonna be taking shit out of it. So one way or another, I'm in the game.
Yeah, it's
I'll be
true,
looking
right?
around.
when you
I'll
now
be
when you
looking around
say
while I'm there.
when you say taking shit out of it, are you referring to like taking like the character models and putting them into the original or something like that? Or
Yeah, yeah,
that's
exactly.
amazing. Yeah, yeah.
Like
Nice.
I've been working on a mod called the Setra Project, which is the remake models in the OG game for
I
maybe
remember
about a year
seeing like
now.
yeah. I remember seeing that. So now it'll be a little bit easier on you to like get them in
Mhm.
there, or yeah. Oh
Yeah,
wow, man.
and definitely for the integrate stuff. I was able to get the base game because PS4's been out for a long time,
That's true.
but PS5's still reasonably new, and people haven't cracked PS5 files or the console itself to get the files yet.
Mm,
Whereas now, Eufy 3D model is everywhere
that's
with
awesome.
as
Mhm.
many or as little clothes as you can imagine.
Yeah. Yep. I'm sure that's coming too.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
if any of you are listening who are thinking about making that mod, just remember Yuffie's a child.
you
Yeah, it doesn't matter that she's existed for 20 years. She's
Yeah.
still
Right.
She's still
16.
Yeah.
make the mod the zipper pants up. No, that's
We
awesome.
talked about a mod earlier, like in the combat sim, like kind of like a Dynasty Warriors feel, where you just kind of throw Cloud in the combat sim against like 100 enemies. Like what would the difficult like a level 99 Cloud versus like 100 progressively more difficult spawning enemies, like how difficult would it be to make something like that? Because I know that would cause a lot of changing of the code, I would assume.
It would, but with it being built in Unreal Engine, which, as most people know, is widely free and available to the public, and there are people, I think at least in the internet world, every 10 people you meet, one of them has played with Unreal Engine. Like,
Yeah.
it's just that popular.
Yeah.
So even the code, it's not that difficult because it has blueprints, well, they call it blueprint. I think it's called blueprints, but nodes of code that just do things, and you're like, it's no different to putting a jigsaw together. You grab this bit of code, you attach it to this bit of code, and it does a new thing. You know, you don't have to sit and type out like all these if and else statements in Java and whatever. So the code is just super like user friendly.
Yeah.
I don't think it would be too difficult. Because the code would quite literally just say insert enemy HP threshold blah, when enemy defeated, spawn new enemy, when all enemies defeated, win, and just add a few more blocks to that paragraph. It should be quite easy. But on the same topic there that you just mentioned there, level 99 Cloud, it makes me think, because we were capped at level 50, but if we uncapped that, there's going to be code in there that says level scaling, strength increase X, HP increase X every time you level. If we uncap the 50, we'd actually be able to find out how strong we would be at level 99.
Wow. Yeah,
that's interesting.
That's true. Yeah. That is cool, like to be able to uncap the level. That's one that we didn't talk about. One question I do have for you that I know is on the minds of a lot of players that at least I've talked to. The ray tracing is ray tracing. I know you said user friendly with Unreal and all this other stuff, but I know a little bit about game development, but I don't know a lot, right? So is it possible to just like turn ray tracing on? I know if it's that simple, they would have done it, right?
I think so,
Yeah.
honestly. I'm pretty sure ray tracing in Unreal Engine 4, because they didn't port to 5, which I was a little surprised by, but whatever, each to their own.
Yeah,
I'm
part
pretty
2
sure
will
it's
be.
as simple as picking a box, honestly.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just an on-off tick box. In fact, I did see on Nexus there was somebody that did a ray trace mod, but I think it's only in like one area or something. And another interesting thing somebody sent me today, and I'll send it to you as well.
Yeah,
link
for sure.
to you. So I don't know. I can't confirm the legitimacy of this. It's just a Reddit post, but apparently in the files there is proof that what we got on Epic Store is actually a development version of the game, or a debug version, and not a full release, like a proper compressed release version. Which is why mods are getting done so quickly, because you're able to just go into the development tools and just mess with it.
I wonder do you think maybe they did that on purpose to help like with modding and stuff? Because I mean, when you're releasing it on PC, you know that this thing's gonna be modding, so like it's just like, let's just make it a little easier on everybody. But
Potentially, yeah.
Is that also? Do you think that's also the reason why the game is kind of running a little rough on PC right now? Yeah,
I do think that is the cause, because all of the settings and stuff that are there to help frame rate and allow the game to just chug. It's when it's running in developer mode, it's done in such a way where the performance is lowered so you can adjust things in real time while you're creating the game. And then you spend 20-40 hours packing it to the real thing so you can play it in proper performance, and they just seem to have avoided that step entirely. This could have been a mistake. It could be somebody that's in the company that's on our side and thought, you know what, no one's looking, I'm gonna
let's make it easy for them.
Like, it's definitely happened before. So.
Huh, that's interesting. Yeah, so we were just talking about like one of, I think our number one requested, actually for me, I guess it's a top two. It's a twixt between two here. Our number one thing is fun with combat sim, right? So as what you're saying, it seems like, yeah, I mean, like if somebody wants to take the time and kind of go in and mess with the code and make it happen, it can. We would love to see like a combat simulator that pits you against Sephiroth and Vice at the same time or something like that. To like, you know, like really increase the difficulty there. And just kind of have these challenge runs within the combat sim, which basically doesn't do anything to the core game. It's just giving you more to do after the game ended and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's one of them, and then the other one would be like you kind of joked about it earlier, Echo S and with the remake. Now I had mentioned, I was like, how easy, or not easy, I say easy, but I definitely know it's not. Like how would it be to get Final Fantasy VII Remake to be as close to the original in terms of story as possible? So like you're cutting out things, like you're taking chunks of the game out. Is that something that would be able to be done through modding, or what do you think?
I think it could. Like given people with the right talent, I foresee Remake becoming kind of like you know, you play Skyrim, you play Fallout, and you look at the mods available for them.
Yeah.
I think Remake will turn out the same way. There's enough people dedicated enough, and Unreal Engine's widely known by a lot of people. It's, especially with it being a development build, like you just open it in the Unreal editor and just make
Just
it your
go for
own
it.
game.
Huh.
Well, to touch on like Skyrim mods, they made a co-op Skyrim mod, right? And so is that like a
Ooh,
peer-to-peer?
yeah. That's a question I wanted to know.
Right. I have looked into the Skyrim Together, I think it was called. I don't know where it is these days, because I know they had a lot of legal trouble, not even so much with Bethesda, but between each other. You know, you start getting popular, you start getting famous, the team turns against each other. It's going to happen. But I don't know too much about it. I don't know if they have servers that they pay for and everybody joins that server, or whether it is, here's my IP address, you connect to my game and whatever. But Skyrim, I think, is a bit of a different story, because it's, you know, one character all the time. Whereas Remake, you know, you've got your three characters. To be able to play multiplayer and have somebody come in and be Barrett, I don't know if the game would ever allow that to happen, to have two people moving around at the same time.
God, yeah, right.
I mean, even the fact that only one camera exists in the game and it's always following your active character, so they'd have to code in a scenario where if another player was active, there'd be a second camera in the scene. And what do they do with character swapping then? Are they still going to be able to swap characters? Is Tifa going to be an AI that neither players can swap to? Or there's a lot of different variables.
Can you just like disable a character altogether and just have them not there, and then kind of
like in like some of the combat sims allow you to do like 1v whoever, and then you could do like
Potentially.
That'd be...
I'd say in the combat sim, you might be able to make the combat sim multiplayer, but I wouldn't say the story elements would.
It would be insane.
I'll take just the combat sim.
It would be insane. You know? Now one thing, Tsuna, I know you weren't able to tune in earlier, but so we're kind of rehashing some of the ideas. So if you're watching along, thanks for hearing our ideas pitched twice. But this time we have Tsunamods, who is here to really clear things up a little bit for us. Now one of the things, Tsuna, is I would love to see full party, right? So like if you could do between two teams of three, so the gameplay itself kind of remains the same. You're able to swap between that party of three, and then what if you were able to like change one of the buttons to swap to the next party? So like you switch over to Yuffie, Aerith, and Red 13 or something like that, right?
Right.
You swap over to them, and you're fighting freaking Nero, Vice, and Sephiroth with a party of 6. Is that something like that? Now we're talking about almost rewriting code, it feels like. Or is that like is that too ambitious, or is it possible?
I would think that it could be done, because it would sort of run under the same lines of like the Bizarro Sephiroth fight in the OG,
right?
You know, you've got your three characters. It's like, see how the others are doing, and then you're in a different fight. I don't know how well it would be like because you'd be swapping an entire fight. You know, you'd still be in the sim, but you know, your current characters would have to be gone. You know, they would become invisible.
Oh,
or
so
be
like swapping
removed or
parties, that
whatever.
party doesn't exist anymore. I was thinking they would just still be running on AI. Like they would still be just doing their own.
Okay.
And
So
then they swap
if you
over.
were right, so if you were to try and have like six different members, you would have to do a bit of recoding for even just the UI, because you know it only has the 3 characters.
Mhm.
Like swapping
What
parties,
else?
which like you could keep the UI the same. Like so like and then like say you know how L2R2 swaps characters in remake.
Oh, okay.
What
So
if you
swap
like
groups?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
swap
yeah.
groups instead, and then the UI just changes over to the party that you're playing as. It'd be interesting, right? Like I don't know. Like it's one of those ambitious things that I was thinking about, like where you could have full party versus like super bosses and stuff like that.
It would be really cool, definitely.
And like
I
you said, a
think-
glimpse into like Bizarro Sephiroth fight and all those fights that
Yeah.
you need a full party.
I think a lot of it would be a case of just copy paste. Honestly, like take the code that already exists with 3 characters, make a second block of it, and you'd have to code in being able to actually press a button to swap a team entirely. And I guess even the AI would just take over, and it would be another team that you're just not controlling.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Even adding
yeah, it
even
doesn't-
more to like the depth of the strategy that you'd have to like because you know in the original you have to pay attention to all 3 characters because they're just kind of doing their thing until you make them do something.
Yeah.
So like you'd have to be swapping parties, swapping characters on the fly, maintaining their health bars. I think it would be kind of interesting.
It would be, because I would think that if there was a way you could see the other party's HP, you wouldn't be able to like open the command menu, go to Cura, and pick
And,
somebody
yeah.
in the other team. So you'd have to fully swap team to use their ATB, and like that'd be difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you could maybe add like an AOE effect to a Cure spell that you just put on the ground,
Oh,
and
wow.
then anybody within a reasonable area would receive that.
First Soldier has it.
For Soldier.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Vincent Graymore asks, how hard would it be to replace things with empty models, like making whispers invisible?
So Cloud is just spooked, and when he's in bed, like just
I would think that was super easy, honestly. That would be as easy as going into the texture for that model and just replacing that texture with an empty, just transparent texture. So the model would still be there, it would still have collision, and it would still be moving around and doing things. You'd be getting hit by nothing, but it would be invisible. Outside of that, you know, go into the code, just turn off the AI, turn off the collision, whatever. It'd be like they never existed. But then you would have to create a scenario around that made sense, because you know there are fights, as you mentioned specifically, just about the whispers and stuff. There are fights when you're fighting the whispers, and if they're just not there, obviously you can't.
yeah.
By the end of battle phase, you'd be getting hit, but you'd have nothing to hit. You'd get stuck, so you would have to modify it a bit.
That actually
You could
kind of
change
adds...
their model to something else, like the ghosts from Train Graveyard.
Yeah, to the you're basically just fighting train graveyard ghosts at that point.
But then you run into like animation problems if they don't translate properly, right? Like it might just be like
they're all Moogle suits. change everything to Moogle suits. So like that would actually kind of add to the whole idea that I had about making everything as close to the original as possible. So if there's a scene that you need but that has just a bunch of whispers around you, you could just get rid of those whispers and keep the scene, or just get rid of the scene entirely, like when you have to fight the whispers outside of Seventh Heaven, just get rid of that altogether. Yeah, God, that would be interesting. I like, I mean, Jack, obviously, wait, no, was it Jack? No, Samuel. Samuel had the idea of, or the thought that, I mean, they were just kind of like, you're not supposed to see them anyway. So, like, it would give you, like, the cameraman doesn't know who Cloud and them are fighting, so as you're playing, you just have to keep swiping at nothing, and you get to see how dumb they look when they're just attacking nothing, and all the passerbyers are like, the hell are they doing? What
I do remember a mod that somebody said that a lot of people are in agreement, but they want to see Broom Lady as a playable character.
Oh, what?
Right.
Broom Lady. Good.
Or give her a deeper backstory.
Yeah, whenever Sid comes out, swap Broom Lady with Sid, because you know the similar weapon style. You know?
They're both dragoons. Broom Lady's a dragoon.
Hold on, Jack Holiday said put Nomura's face like on the whispers, like so under the hood, just have like Nomura's face just kind of like shrouded in the blackness, like you can see him. That's great. Oh man.
So, yeah, with the whisper stuff, like I know a lot of them are just like the one outside Seventh Heaven. You've gone to bed, you've woke up, the whole thing is a cutscene, and it transitions you into that fight. That one would be a little difficult to work with, but say, for example, the one where you're going up to the pillar.
Oh, yes.
That is literally just an invisible trigger line that you walk over that says, if Cloud passes this line, start this scene. If you just remove that trigger line, you'd walk on through, get to the next bit, and start going up the pillar. And that would be that scene just totally removed with
honestly
one delete key.
Yeah, I mean it's always there. I mean, like it's good. It's in the original release, but like if imagine this adds to the idea of making it as close to the original as possible. Being able to see Jesse and Biggs and their scenes. For me, and personally, being able to get rid of like the whisper scene or being able to get rid of them entirely, I feel like that adds so much. Like it would add so much to the not the levity, but the severity of the situation. Because I never did like when the whisper interrupted those death scenes. They just kind of like it was just like, ooh, come on, man. I'm trying to feel something here, not try to worry about this. So that would be really cool to be. So just the idea of being able to just get rid of these and replace them with transparent is it adds to the idea of a original, close to the original.
Well, I mean, if you don't want the whispers in the game at all, then you could just delete them.
Delete go whisper file delete. I might try that out. Let's see what happens.
Like it's quite. I can't think of the right word, but like it's funny that the whispers are in the game to like preserve the original game, and then us as creators would go in and delete the whispers to preserve the original game.
It's like, here, I'll do your job for you, whispers. I'll fix it. No,
so we have
that's
question in chat. They say, Tsuna, how difficult would it be to put Sephiroth's sword in Shinra's back like the original?
Oh,
obviously a red trail of blood with bodies is something I think everybody wants.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. So I don't think it would be too difficult. I'm assuming he is just dead in his chair in the remake still, right? I know there's a bit more of a scene there.
He's hanging from a ledge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. What happened after that though? Like he still died, right?
The Barrett fake out, and then he dies by Sephiroth's. Eventually, he dies by Sephiroth in that cutscene. So basically, what you'd have to do is remove that cutscene altogether. Like it would just be placing, just kind of place him in the chair, dead, and then there's no dialogue that happens. It's just that would be the only way I could see that happening. Is just you just put the model in the chair, and that's the end of that. And maybe go straight onto the Midgar escape, like the escape. Just go down there. Yeah, you just go walk out to Rufus and
completely skip the Genova fight too.
If you want to make it as close to the original,
like as long as the code is actually accessible and changeable, it could be done. Like absolutely, that wouldn't be too difficult. And I think the blood trail would be as simple as finding the texture and just changing the hue of it to red.
Well, I'm okay with the purple ooze if that's what they want. But like, would it be like really difficult to actually add texture effects to the walls? Like, so putting the claw marks in the walls, putting the blood on the floor, maybe even adding a Shinra employee or two dead on the floor. Like how is that? Is it achievable? I mean, it seems like hey man, anything's achievable, but is it kind of what do you think?
The texture stuff would definitely be easier. Because assuming that there is a point where the textures change, I'm not sure, like, are you able to go up there before that happens? I haven't played the remake in like a year, but like at least in the original, you walk through, you go through Hojo's lab, and then you get arrested.
And you're in the jail, and
you're actually on a totally different field. Like there's two different fields. So if the remake does the same thing, then it's just a case of changing the texture. Like
remake doesn't do that exactly, but they do have a God, I can't really remember exactly when the blood trails start. But like you do,
they start right after you exit the jail.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So like, no, I mean like in remake.
Oh, in remake.
Yeah, in
Oh,
remake.
oh,
Yeah. Because you never go to jail in remake.
right.
It's kind of like I'm not sure exactly. I can't remember. Chat. Anybody wants to help with that? But yeah, there's a moment where you see the blood trail of Genova, the purple ooze, which I'm fine with the purple ooze if that's the color of Genova's blood. Whatever, she's an alien.
Yeah.
So that's fine with me. But like, what happened in the original was like it added so much more like depth and scary, like horror aspect to the game almost. Yeah, and like to see claw marks, to see blood and employees all over the floor.
Yeah.
I think that,
okay.
I think that lends itself to how memorable that scene was for us from original, and like we could remember every detail of that scene, and we're having trouble remembering details of that scene from remake, which came out 2 years ago.
Right.
So it's like
that's
that, you know, it made it memorable.
Yeah, so that was
for
like
sure.
we talked about it earlier how like that the blood trails is one of my like all time maybe like top 5 moments from the original, and it didn't really hit the way it did in remake. Like it was just like I don't know if I like this too much. The atmosphere wasn't as scary and like chilling as the original. So I would just love like even honestly all of these mods aside that make remake even better than it already is, and we're just talking about how we can make things the way we like them. Obviously, that's what modding is all about. We love remake, but to be able to go back and like out of all the mods that we've discussed today, I just want the blood trails, man. like that's it. Like that's really honestly all I want is just to add blood.
Somebody will absolutely look into it. Like,
Yeah.
so many people were pissed off by that.
Right. I feel like somebody's got to be on it.
You know, thinking about it now, there's mods in Skyrim that turn in Fallout that turn Deathclaws into Randy Savage. Like I would love to see like Randy Savage chocobos, and every time they instead of like the squeak, they're just
Amazing.
I can
Savage
definitely
chocobos.
predict the sheer amount of stupidity.
Yeah.
Like, at some point, you're going to be walking through Sector 7 and every NPC is Thomas the Tank Engine.
Yeah, Thomas is going to make his way in. The Scorpion
Yeah.
Sentinel needs to be Thomas the
Absolutely.
Tank. Like it's 100% going to happen. Somebody's got to put
Thomas the
Thomas
Scorpion Sentinel.
Thomas the
Yeah.
Scorpion Tank. That would be terrifying, man. Thomas the Train
I'm
jumping on the
definitely
walls.
predicting FF7 Remake will get broken open to the point of total freedom. And
Yeah.
then just whoever has the time to do it will do whatever they want to
Shoot,
do.
man,
to
I'm
this
downloading
game.
Unreal Engine 4 right after this. You kidding me? That's amazing, man. Tsuna, do you have any any thoughts that you want to add to the conversation before we like kind of close it out about remake and its mods, like maybe even going over to Echo S and like you talked about a little earlier, obviously if you want to add on to that. Do you have any closing thoughts now that Final Fantasy VII Remake is on PC and modding is there?
So I do think there's going to be mass popularity for mods that make it more like the original, like for sure. There's going to be enough popularity that everybody's going to be trying to achieve that. And I'm going to be entertained by like years of effort to do that, and then part 2 comes out and they're just like, oh well, my mod's useless now. You know, 'cause
Yeah,
part
I
2
mean,
kinda just
this is true because part 2 is
breaks.
probably going to go off the rails, I'm sure, where it
Yeah,
would be
yeah.
almost impossible to make it as a mod to the original. But
like for the
yeah.
most part, you'd be better off ripping all the assets out of the game and then rebuilding
And just
the game
rebuilding
with
the
those
game.
assets. Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
God, Lord.
I'm also very curious now that we have access to all these files and everything. Like it's been like a year since we got anything, and it makes me think, what have they been doing for the last year? Have they really just done nothing but port it to PC? And people think porting something to PC is difficult. It isn't. That takes like a day. When you think about the fact it was made on PC first,
Right.
it was ported from PC to console, so it was already PC.
So that was like
So
that
what
was
have
my
they been
question
doing?
earlier. I'm like, so why is it running so sloppily on on PC if it was, and it's kind of an argument, like even like you're saying right now, yeah, it was developed on PC, it should be, I mean,
Yeah.
so it's kind of like, but I think now that we're all this information's arising that this is a debug version of the game, I think that's where we're kind of seeing things right now. But okay, go ahead, man. Sorry.
I'm also very curious to find out if there's any like leftover files in there. And it could well potentially have spoilers for the next pieces, because it's happened plenty of times. I mean, look at the demo. Whenever the demo for Remake dropped before the base game did you see the leaks that came out of that thing?
I didn't
Like, the
see
whole
that. I
game was
knew that they were
basically
out
in
there, and I
there.
was trying to stay so far away from them. But yeah, I was like,
The whole game was practically in there.
Yeah.
And it's definitely not that far-fetched for like even just 2 or 3 voice lines to be left in. Some outtakes might be left in. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Like I've seen a bunch of lines in there that aren't in the original game. There were definitely just different versions of different takes, or they were from areas that they cut or something.
Yeah, I know the stair
I'm
scene.
definitely
I know.
expecting deleted content.
Yeah, like the stair scenes. John was saying like he recorded so much for that. Like so who knows if those lines are still there, hidden in the code or something. That'd be interesting.
And, I'm definitely interested to start diving into it a bit. Like something I found a while back. I've had access to a lot of the models for maybe coming shy of a year now, but Barrett's dog tags was something that I looked at whenever I was importing Barrett into the original, because the camera in the game is never close enough to see it, or at least it wasn't at that time because we didn't have photo mode. And Barrett's dog tags from the front look totally normal, but when you turn them around, it has Marlene's one. And it says Marlene Wallace, birthday, loads of question marks. And blood type was loads of question marks. Like it's like they knew absolutely nothing about Marlene whatsoever, which I thought was really weird, because on Barrett's one, it had X's or I think it was on Dine's one, it had loads of X's just to signify this could mean anything. Like X plus X is X, it's the same thing. But hers literally had question marks on it. It's like, why did you not just put X's? Like, why are you making a thing out of this? I want to go through all these files and look for other things that could, like, lead towards things.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting, too. And now I'll finally be able to get my hands on the integrated stuff, too, which would be nice.
Right. Cool. Sam, are you about to read the Samuel question?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
You can read it if you want.
Nah, man, go ahead, man.
So this is more of a personal question for you, Tsuna. Sam would like to know, how can someone with no modding experience best first get into modding? How did you? I don't even know how to get the files. Are there tutorials?
Okay, so when it comes to modding, a lot of people consider modding to be one topic, and it really isn't. It's kind of like I'm trying to think of a job that has a bunch of different versions of the same job, but they all come under the title. I guess if somebody says to you, you're in the military, your first question is, what part?
Yeah.
And modding is the same. When you say, I do modding, people will be like, what game? Or what engine? So depending on what you want to do, there are different places. Like for me, for example, I do have a lot of experience being a modder, but I can mod Final Fantasy VII Original, and that's it. All of my information is very one track, that it wouldn't translate to anywhere else. So if you're talking remake specifically and you want to get into remake stuff, you're going to be looking in tutorials for Unreal Engine 4 specifically. I'd say there's a bunch of them around the internet everywhere. There's actually tutorials in that. There's a tutorial section, at least, in that Discord, the Open FF7R. Granted, it doesn't have all that much there, but there are people in there that would probably be willing to have a look. But at the very least, if you get into that Discord, everybody in there has done something. So they would be willing to share that information. For the most part, modders are very open. They're not just going to be like, yeah, it's a trade secret. Like, go figure it out yourself.
So it's like so surgeons, like a neurosurgeon isn't a cardiac surgeon, isn't a orthopedic surgeon. You would have to basically specialize in, so like people who make like Fallout mods, basically like their extensive knowledge only pertains to Fallout because modding a different game would require different knowledge.
Yeah.
Yes, is exactly. Yeah, Doctor's a great example, actually. I think, like, I mean, with more modern games, mine is a very specific example of a game from '97. And back then, I think every game company developed a brand new engine for the game they were currently making, which obviously is not the case now. So, like, for example, anybody that can mod Fallout, for the most part, can mod Skyrim, because they're practically the same game.
Yeah. Same engine type thing. So, like, I've seen a lot of people who actually open FF7R is the same people that did open KH, like Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts was Unreal Engine, so I feel like they're kind of like, you're familiar with what's going on there. You're able to do it. Yeah. Okay, so that definitely answers. That's definitely a good answer. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Another good way to do it, like, just in case it wasn't helpful enough, if you go on to Nexus Mods and look at mods that already exist, you'll download them and you'll look at the files that they replace.
Yeah.
So if it says, I think for the most part they're like pack files, PAK. When you get that information, you know what type of file you need to learn how to edit. So then you start Googling, what is a pack file? Look for a pack file editor of some kind. How do you open a pack file in Unreal Engine 4? Once it's like you have to work backwards,
Yeah,
find the file, work out how to get in the file, work out how to modify the file, then work out how to convert it back to that file and get it back in the game. Just walk backwards through the whole process. It's reverse engineering.
I can actually walk somebody through how to get the dress in there real quick. I meant to do that earlier in the show, so let me get that going real quick. Audio output capture done.
While you're doing that, so like, getting knowledge on different games, or specializing in the one game that you want to mod, is key. But if, let's say, you have two totally different games, let's say Gears of War and Halo, let's say they both used Unreal Engine 5. If you learn how to mod Unreal Engine 5, do you then know how to mod both games, or is it still...
I would think so, yeah.
Okay, so any game under the same engine, learning how to mod that engine would help you in being able to mod more games under that same engine?
Yeah, I would like to think so, at least. Assuming that they use the code style, like C++ or JavaScript or whatever, if they used just whatever was built in Unreal Engine 5 and they didn't change anything, your skills would absolutely cross over to any game using the same thing. But, there's always a chance that one developer decided to write their game in C++ and another one Java. And in that case, if you're looking to change code, it's not going to help you. You'd have to actually learn how to do this entire other language. But when it comes to model swapping and stuff, yeah, it would be identical. Music, voice acting, whatever.
So
it will be the same.
So here we go. I'm going to switch over the transition. Boom, right there. Okay, so now what you're looking at is the files and stuff like that. I'm going to show you guys how to actually get into the file. I had this question on Twitter, and they were like, I can't find the Epic Games library and all this other stuff. How do I add the dress? This is the only one that I know So you go to where your game is. It's actually going to be program files, not program files 86, program files. And then you'll see Epic Games right here. And then it's going to be right there. You see Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade. You're going to click onto that. And then it's End. And then you're going to go to, oh man, which one is it? I believe it's Content. Yep, Packs. And then you'll see that I actually created a folder called Mods. You click into that. And then you can add the download that you pull off of Nexus Mods. And then you basically unpack them into this folder. Or extract them into this folder. And it's literally as easy as that. Next time you fire up the game, Tifa will be in the purple dress, Aerith in the red. And it's that easy to do the dresses. Now, I'm not sure exactly when it comes to like the weapons. I think you're going to have to find the folder that say Iron Blade can be replaced by the Masamune. You probably have to find where the Masamune or the Iron Blade is, and then replace that file, right, and rename it the same thing. Is that what you're saying, Tsuna?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's what I'm predicting, at least. Yeah.
So that's basically the tutorial for how to get the dresses in. It's really simple, and there you go. You just follow those steps. Create a folder called mods. Put it in there. Now it's going to be alphabetical. So like say if you downloaded all of Cloud's dresses, then the alphabetical one will load, not the other ones. So I don't know if that's going. It'll maybe it even like throw it off completely, but I'm not sure. So I'm only doing these two. I think that's cool. That's cool with me. I might add the Wu Tai dress in there, but other than that, that's how easy it is. So we're gonna.
So did the mods folder just already exist, or did you have to make that?
I created a folder called mods. You can actually, if you want to, and you don't want to create a folder, you can just dump it into this pack folder or this packs folder.
Right. Okay. Because I'm thinking, like, how does the game know to read for that mods folder if it never existed before?
Yeah, I actually never. Like I had it in here just under the packs folder, and it was working fine. And then in the Open FF7R Discord, they were like, "Yeah, just create a folder called mods and put them in there." And I was like, "Oh, well, I mean that helped me keep it organized." Yeah.
So if you renamed that folder to something else, would it still work?
That's interesting. I'm not
Because
sure.
if it doesn't, that means they programmed it to accept a folder there called mods.
Called mods.
Because that ain't coincidence, no way.
Oh,
But if it
okay.
accepts anything, then whatever, it's just the way it is. But if it's specific to the word mods, that's a big deal.
Yeah, it is. I didn't think of it that way, but yeah, I guess it is. They're like, hey, we're gonna read this mods folder. Yeah, so that's how you do it. Super simple. Yeah, what else would we got? I think there was a question about adding like from other games, like models from other games, like adding lightning and as playable character from Final Fantasy 13. That would be cool.
Yeah.
So those things are, it seems like if you have the model, you have to just find the folder. And like Tsuna was saying, the more you do it off of Nexus, I feel like the more you're going to learn how to at least apply the mods. And like, so if you can get a character model of Lightning, you might be able to just replace the file of Cloud and replace it with a Lightning model.
Yeah.
You'll
notice too, if you're in that Discord,
Mm-hmm.
There's a which chat was it? Role request. So yeah, there's a chat named role request, and it says to get the modder role, link a mod you created for Unreal Engine 4. That in itself tells me that to be able to mod FF7 Remake, all you have to have is knowledge on how to mod any UE4 game. Because that's how you get the modder role in an FF7 Remake server. So that must be the case, right? So yeah, just like there's going to be a lot of information about that. I'd say you stick that in YouTube, how to mod UE4, you're going to get more videos than you've got time to watch.
It's true. I better get to learning.
Yeah.
I feel like I learned a lot from this already.
Yeah. Thank you so much for jumping in here, Tsuna. Thanks, man.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
We were going to take a look at the news from the week. It's just a couple trailers. Did you want to stick around for that, or?
Yeah, why not?
All right, cool.
I'm not doing anything else. I'll put my dressing gown on and get cozy.
Well, we're probably just gonna be another 5 minutes.
That's still.
Yeah.
Fake fire lit, you know.
I love the fake fire. It's the holiday cheer. You know what I mean? I love it.
Exactly. It's like placebo too. It actually makes you feel warmer.
God, I feel like I need to go get my robe. Vinny, where's our robes at, dude?
Yeah, let's do this. Robe stream.
My robe is in the bathroom.
Robe stream.
I believe.
Robe stream.
Robe stream.
I love. I still love Vinny's the robe scene. Just talking about the fleeting dream.
Drinking my wine. Sipping
when I was
my
asking
wine.
you guys for pictures to use for promo, and he was like, "Will this one do?" And he's just there like,
Yeah. Indeed.
Perfect.
All right, so first up in the news this week for Final Fantasy, this is kind of a new segment that we're doing, so I hope you enjoy it. There's actually a lot of anniversaries going on for this. First up, actually, I don't have it set to have our audio, so I'm just going to show you a brief picture. This is Final Fantasy X coming up. I mean, it's actually their 20th anniversary for the North American release, which is pretty crazy. Here's a picture of me 20 years ago holding Final Fantasy X, and then I did try to recreate the same picture, and here it is. There we go. And there it was. So there's me 20 years ago holding a Final Fantasy X game box, and then I recreated the picture. I think it's just crazy. We did 20 years for Final Fantasy X. We did a podcast with Soldier First Class. So if you are interested in just celebrating the game and just kind of reminiscing on it and what it means to us, and then please comment on that video and tell us what it means to you. We just love hearing the stories. Final Fantasy X was a very important game to us, especially Vinny, and you get to hear his story on that. So definitely check that out. Another one that in other news, let me make sure I got the right one. Oops, that's the wrong one. This one right here. Okay, so let me transition over. So boom, this is our Twitter, but over here, Chocobo GP gets a new trailer this week. So let's go ahead and play that one. So what I think is so cool about Chocobo GP is that we're getting a little more and more other Final Fantasy games seeping into the trailers, right? So you have oh wait, am I not capturing audio right now? No,
I mean,
okay, we are. I'm sorry. So yeah, so you get the you get Steiner from Final Fantasy IX. You get to see the battle at the big bridge at the beginning of this trailer. So we're getting these locations, and then of course Terra comes in at some point to showcase the story mode. Yeah, here we go, story mode, and then there's Terra. So we get to see Terra going to be a playable racer. Vivi right there, Gilgamesh. So I think Chocobo GP is really shining when you see the when you see other Final Fantasy characters coming in. There they are right there, Steiner, Vivi. So what do you guys thought? What are your thoughts on Chocobo GP? Are you excited? Hype check.
Mario
It looks-
Kart move over.
Yeah.
It looks like I mean, if you had fun playing Mario Kart, you gotta have fun playing this. My sister has a Nintendo Switch, so I will be able to play with you from time to time, Daniel.
Yes, dude, we're gonna be pushing this game hard. We're gonna try. If they have an ambassador program, we're getting in it.
Absolutely.
You know what this is? This is a free Christmas present to any kids that we have in our families.
You're
Every
absolutely
year it's
right,
like,
Tsuna.
I have no idea what to buy them this year, and it's like, nope, solved.
well, this will be coming out in March. I think March 10th right there. So, yeah, but this was a Christmas present in itself as a trailer. It's just really exciting. I like you said, I'm big into Mario Kart, so I'm going to be really excited about this. My son, who's 4 years old, plays Mario Kart every day. So this is going to be kind of a cool game to play with him.
Transitional phase 2.
Yeah. So and then we got other news. Speaking of anniversaries, Final Fantasy 1, the original Final Fantasy, everyone, and let me bring it up. And Final Fantasy 2 get anniversaries this week, so switching over. This is off of the FinalFantasy.com website. And we're talking about the first battles that you get in Final Fantasy 1987 for Final Fantasy 1, 1988 for Final Fantasy 2, both falling in December of this week. So just really cool that these games are getting big anniversaries. And do you remember this one, Vinny? I know you love Final Fantasy 1. Do you do you remember it looking like this?
Yeah, I do. Because when I played Final Fantasy, I played Final Fantasy 1 on the Super Nintendo. I believe that's what it was out for.
This
at
is
my
NES.
At my uncle's house, and it was so difficult. That game was definitely watered down over the years. That original version was one of the most difficult to be out. And I remember it looking like that. And then I remember not playing it for a long time and then playing it on iOS when it came out for iOS like years ago. And I was like, this game's a lot more beautiful than I remember. And then I was like oh yeah, that's right. That's the version I remember.
yeah. And of course the Pixel remaster, you've played that recently and 100% that game. It's one of your favorites. So so there you go, man. Final Fantasy 1 and 2 with their 34th and 33rd anniversaries. And then to celebrate that, Stranger of Paradise releases a trailer today, actually, for Stranger of Paradise, the bridge scene, which is iconic in the original. So they kind of remade it. So here we go. I'm gonna play it real quick.
And so their quest began. As the four warriors of light, they felt overwhelmed by the great task destiny had placed before them. They did not even know the true significance.
You can tell right now he's listening to Limp Bizkit. He doesn't even know what the narrator is saying. This is your first time seeing it, right, Vinny?
Yeah.
So brilliant. The time for their journey had come. The time to cast off the veil of darkness and bring the world once more.
I gotta get Vinny's reaction. What do you think, dude?
I've been hyped to play this game ever since I saw Tiamat. And it's just March can't come soon enough. I can't wait to play Stranger of Paradise.
Dude, that just them showing that bridge scene, like the iconic title card. I was like, God, they sold me. I'm ready. I need to play the game now. Like that's how iconic that title card is. You know.
It looks good. Like I haven't really played anything below 7, but like I still feel it, you know.
Yeah, right. Yeah, God.
Like,
So,
I have seen that picture floating around Twitter a lot.
people
have edited the logo in the top left and stuff. And
I wonder if they're gonna be able to. I wonder if there's gonna be like a white mage challenge in Stranger of Paradise.
oh my God, I think you can, because you can change their jobs. Right, like based off of the demos. So
I'm absolutely gonna try and beat that game as a white mage again.
Yeah. Actually, you were talking about editing. That was me. That was me, Tsuna. How do I?
Oh, was you?
How do I get that? Let me bring that up real quick. Window capture. Yeah, there I am. There
makes sense now.
There I am doing and so their journey begins. Then the Stranger Paradise. Put their logo there. So. But yeah, I had to do it on my phone because I was so excited about it. Yeah. So anyways, I thought that was really cool they remade that iconic, title card. It got me excited about it. What are you guys thinking in chat? It looks like, man, yeah. And so their journey begins. Music is so good. The feels, yeah. Chat's loving it too. So Stranger of Paradise is one of those games so far that I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what to expect. It's like it's a joke sometimes and then it's serious sometimes. I'm just really excited to either play it or watch the Master of Soulsborne over here play it, and maybe even do some co-op with you, Vinny. I mean, it's possible.
Absolutely.
So
Was co-op been announced for it?
Yeah, it was actually part of the last trial. Yeah.
Okay.
I never got around to doing co-op, but because Vinny didn't have the trial because it's PS5 and Series X exclusives,
Right.
but but it's going to be on PC too. So
Nice.
yeah, so that's pretty cool, man. And I think that kind of recaps the news this week, other than of course the mods being in Final Fantasy VII Remake, which we kind of discussed in a full video. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can check that out with our podcast talking about mods. We have Tsunamods with us discussing it as well, so really exciting if you haven't seen those. All right, cool. Now that's it. And cut on that video because I'm just gonna chop it up. You know what I mean? This is how I'm gonna make my content from now on because I don't have time to edit. I don't have the time to edit them, so I'm just gonna do them right here on Twitch. There it is.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I know we can't say too much yet, but the stuff that's happening on Monday, like I pre-programmed everything to edit itself while we're live, and then I just download it and upload it to YouTube. We're doing nothing.
Wait, what? Like oh, that's amazing, man. That's amazing.
Yeah. At some point, I'll get you in a call and I'll show you.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah.
The mods do want to do a test run because they are terrified.
Oh man, I can only imagine. You have so many moving parts, and I'm not trying to I'm not going to give away anything, but you have so many moving parts, and it's like I try to take these things on when we run our little tiny games, and I'm just like, good lord, me and Vinny are just like, scrambling. Technical difficulty, sorry.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I definitely want to see how that test run goes because seeing it would help
Yeah.
No,
make
for
everything
sure,
run
for sure.
smooth. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think we're gonna do it tomorrow at some point if we can. It's
Okay.
so
I
hard
will-
to get that many people free at the same time.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure, man. It's a huge lineup. If anybody's watching this right now and not familiar with what we're talking about, coming up on December 20th, Tsunamods. If you want to kind of like pitch it right, you can pitch it to them right now if you want. So I don't say anything that I'm not supposed to.
Yeah. So we're having a game show on Monday. It's self-proclaimed probably the biggest FF7 creator collab to date. You know, the bigger one could come out next week, but you know, as of right now,
I haven't
don't think
announced it
there's
yet,
been- featuring Max. You know?
yeah, right. I got Max dude on. It's fine.
And yeah, we've got 7. It's either 7 or 8 guests. I'm not entirely sure. There's a little bit of confusion going on behind the scenes, and then 10 different voice actors from EchoS are going to be there as well. And we have a very interesting game show that is going to be both. It's going to hit you in the feels. It's going to be serious. It's going to make you laugh till you piss yourself. You know, and you can be
Can't wait.
really, really involved as well. Like just the chat and stuff. You know. It's going to be such a good night. I'm so excited for it. I literally finished coding everything this morning.
Yeah, and that's going to be on Twitch, right? Twitch.tv/Tsunamods, right?
Yes.
Um,
yeah, it'll go up on YouTube after too. So
Yeah, at what what time? What time? We want to make sure I get it right.
it is 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. EST.
There you go.
It might not last that long, but we secured a time slot that long just in case.
Yeah, for sure, man. I'm excited to be part of it. Me and Vinny are going to be part of it, which is it's going to be a lot of fun. Like Tsuna said, a lot of laughter and stuff. Because you know me, man, I'm gonna bring that energy and that hype. I can't help it. It's just gonna be. I'm gonna be there. It's gonna be so much fun, exciting. So please tune into that. And yeah, I think we can close out this episode. What do you guys think? You guys good? Want closing thoughts or chat? You guys anything else to say? We'll close this one out. Yeah.
Excited for these mods after talking about them, and hopefully even if half of what we talked about today comes into existence, it's gonna make the $70 price tag on the PC release that much more worth it.
Yes. God, for sure, man. So really exciting. What's up, Suna?
The one mistake I'm thinking, like Square probably were very aware mods were going to exist almost instantly.
Mm-hmm.
And they would have also been aware that the first few mods that were going to happen was Cloud in Address, Tifa in Address, Aerith in Address. Why didn't they just sell them as skins?
And yeah,
Everybody was for it.
Yeah.
But we'd have bought them.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, like, I don't know if
Now
I don't
we're doing
know.
it ourselves for free. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. I don't know if if there might have been backlash to that though. What if they were like? I think they should just
It's gonna make
unlock
them
them.
unlockable.
Just unlock them. Just unlock them. Yeah, to sell the skins that are already in the game. I think people might have been like, "Whoa, bro." But
Yeah, probably. Yeah, but like beat Jules in the pull-ups, unlock Cloud in Address. I mean, that kind of even makes sense, right?
yeah.
Because I don't know if it's mentioned in the remake, but I know that the dialogue in the original, when Cloud asks the dress shop owner for a dress, and you choose like clean and soft or whatever, the dress owner says to you, "Oh, I've got a friend that has something similar," and it's Jules that he's talking about.
Yeah.
So like it makes sense that you would unlock the dress as a permanent reward or something.
That would be that would have been cool. I mean, like I get like the idea of like I know they're probably shaking in their boots right now of seeing Cloud or these characters, their beloved characters, in game looking different. You know what I mean? Like than they intended. So I bet I'm sure they're like, well, here we go. The floodgates are open now. So they at least
they're wearing a marshmallow.
Yeah, they at least got their like a whole year and a half of like if you see a picture of a screenshot of Final Fantasy VII Remake, you're seeing Final Fantasy VII Remake. Until people were so desperate that they hacked the PS4 or a save state to get the thing to work. But yeah, so I think they should have just been unlockable from the get-go. And a lot of these mods that we talked about, we were just kind of like, man, this would have been just a quality of life improvement. Would have been great. Better photo mode, better being able to use the different outfits and stuff. But hey, it's out for PC. You're able to mod it now. Modders are already on it. nexusmod.com. So, and Tsunamods, thank you so much for juning us. Thank you. I'm just gonna make up words on this podcast. Thank you so much for joining us.
Chat more often.
Yeah, right, exactly. Honestly, dude, we're Final Fan TV, so we're open to having guests on the show. That's right. Even you guys in chat right now, we're gonna be making some moves in 2022. So we really want to kind of make the namesake, you know what I mean? Final Fan TV. So you know, we want to interact with you guys directly. We want to have connections with you guys. So more on that in the future and how we're going to go about doing that. So this was really cool to have Tsunamods drop in chat, bring them into the podcast. So thank you so much for doing that. So, we got one more question from Samuel. Final Fan TV, love your streams and videos and contributions to the community. Same with you, Tsuna. Thanks, you three. Keep up the amazing work. Thank you so much, man. You don't even know how much of a driving factor that is to see that in chat, right, or in the comments. So thank you for doing that, for saying that. It wasn't a question, and I'm glad I read it.
I mean, I'm the same way. Like, same thing, same as Samuel says. Like, I've known you guys for ages now, and I'm pretty much exclusive to you now when it comes to dropping big
the
information.
E3 announcements, baby.
I do, you know.
Thank you for that, man. Yeah, Tsuna. I'll say we get Tsuna on the show. Okay, hey, look, man, I'm about to drop something big on you. I'm about to announce the demo for Echo S. I'm like, oh my god. Okay, I just wanted to talk to you, but let's go, man.
It was a surprise for you as much as it was for chat, basically.
Yeah, it was. I was like, oh my god. Okay, Tsuna, let's make this work the way you want it to.
I don't know when I'm a next planned guest, but I already know what I'm dropping next time.
All right.
Oh my god, he already knows? Is that what you're saying?
Yep, I already know.
I'm excited already. Thank you so much, Tsuna. Like, Tsuna drops those E3 level announcements on us. I love it. Oh man. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna close out this stream. Thank you so much for watching live. And if you feel ever so inclined, and you haven't checked out our YouTube channel, maybe you don't even watch YouTube. That's okay. Go on their created account and give us a subscribe, because we're pushing for that 1,000. We get a lot of benefits at 1,000 subscribers. So if you could please help us out, tell a friend if you're already subscribed. Let's get us to 1,000, please. You're our XP to level up. You know what I mean? So please do that. And thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much, Tsuna, for joining.